Everything changed when I fell on my knees. Everything changed when your love.
When I think of God, I think of a savior, a life giver, miracle worker. He saved my life. I mean, he raised me from the dead. I'm a miracle, you know. And I remember my parents telling me about prayer services and things they had at the hospital. Kids from my old school, Black Hawk Christian, all got together and prayed. At first, when I was in the hospital and woke up in the ICU, I couldn't move anything. And then a couple weeks later, I started moving my hands and my neck and my head, but I couldn't move it very much.
One of the first things that he said to me was, "Mom, God does love me. God does love me. He is with me. He hasn't left me, Mom." And just to see him open his eyes, to see that the truth and the hope that God is with him. It was so amazing.
Much. Then I went to the rehab in Parkview.
So they transferred him after, I think, 19 days in ICU to another hospital where he received pretty intense physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. But with hard work and God's love and mercy, Jacob started to slowly start to have mobility in his arms, and then started to show mobility in his legs. And every day was a new miracle. But Jacob had such an inner peace that you could see that it could only be God that provided that to him. He wasn't afraid that he was paralyzed. He didn't show any fear. I was blown away that my teenage boy who loves sports and is active wasn't afraid that he couldn't move his arms or his legs. He just had such a peace about him, and he wasn't afraid, and I'm so thankful for that.
And I knew right then it was time for me to give my life to Christ again. I knew God was calling me to come to him.
And then he started to walk, which was even more beautiful. Of course, with help. His trainers would have to actually lift his leg and move it for him at first. But then he slowly started to be able to lift his legs and do that on his own.
And I progressed to a wheelchair. And I thought I'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And then after that, a couple weeks later, I started using a walker, and I thought, man, I might be in a walker for the rest of my life. This is better. And then after that, I started walking when I got home. And I was like, all I have now is a balance issue. I think that's going to come back. God is healing me 100%. It's amazing. When I was in the hospital, I realized God gave me a second chance. He brought me back to life, and then I felt him calling me to get baptized.
Just after Jacob was admitted to the Parkview rehab, he said to me, "Mom, I want to get baptized. I really feel God calling me to be baptized, to share my outwardly love and commitment to Jesus."
Okay. So 2 weeks after I got out of rehab in the ICU, I got baptized. So I was supposed to be wheeled into my wheelchair to the lake, but then I saw a lady who couldn't walk either walking into the lake. So I decided, man, I should walk into the lake. And I told my parents 3-4 weeks before this that I'm going to walk into the lake when I get baptized. and I had to. God knew I was going to do it, so I did it.
And he said, Mom, I'm going to walk into that water. And he said it with such hope I could see in his eyes. And at that time, he had very little mobility in his arms, and he couldn't move his legs. So I was a little guarded and cautious, but he had that hope. And sure enough, on September the 15th, Jacob was baptized and he walked into the water with little help, but he did it. He walked into that water. It was really, really an incredible thing.
Coming out of the water, I felt reborn almost. I felt like an ease on my soul almost. Almost like something I needed, you know? God was there. When I came out of the water, I looked around and there was a huge crowd. There was people from my old school, people from both my old schools actually, friends, family, teachers, so supported during all this. It was amazing. I had the best support group through it all.
I rose up from the water, free from my sin. My eyes open wide, hands lifted how I was born again.
I don't know what God has ahead for Jacob. What I do know is that it's great. He has great plans. My son walks today. He not only walks, but he walks with Jesus, guiding the way. And as a mother, there's no greater joy.
I'm not really sure what God's plan is for me the rest of my life, but I'm open to anything, and I'm letting God lead me wherever he wants to lead me.
And my hope is that Jacob's story would be a reflection of God's love and mercy so that others may come to know him.
Everything changed.